Okay, it says the following data captures the number of minutes it took 13 randomly selected students to complete the final exam in statistics summer 2018. So what we're going to do today is it says create a frequency distribution table with 4 classes for the time it took some students to complete the final. What we're going to be doing over here is we're going to be creating some numbers. So we're going to have like starting and ending times, and then we're going to talk about how many fell into each category. But we need to figure out where do each one of these start and end. So what we're going to do here is we're going to want to find where we want to start. We're going to want to start with the smallest value, and you can see that the smallest value here is going to be 60. So we know this is going to be 60, right? But it's going to go 60 to what number, right? We need to find that. The first thing we need to be able to do to find how wide these are going to be, these are called class widths. So how far apart these are is called the class widths. Before we can find the class width, what we need to find first is what's called the range. The range is calculated by subtracting the biggest value minus the smallest value. And I know the smallest value was 60, we just said that. Now let's go through our list and let's look through the largest value. I think the largest value is 105. So 105 minus 60 is 45. So we know that this has a range of 45. So we have a total distance of 45 to cover in here. Now how do we break that up? Well, you find your class width by taking the range, which we just found, and dividing it by the number of classes. How do I find the number of classes? Well, it tells me up here that we want 4 classes. So we're going to take our range, which is 45, and we're going to divide that by the number of classes, which is 4. 45 divided by 4, I get 11.25. Now, I really don't want to count by 11.25, so we are going to round up here regardless. We're not going to round down because that wouldn't be wide enough, so we're going to round this up to 12. So we're going to be counting by 12s over here. All right, let me erase a couple things real quick. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be counting by 12s. So the thing to think about, though, is you're not going to add 12 across, because if I added 12 across 60 to 72, if I count that 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. Wait, I did something wrong there. 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. If you count those dots here, you see that we actually have 13. That's too big, right? We said that one class width once. We want that to be 12. So you don't add across. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be adding down. So we're going to take our number and we are going to actually add that width down. So we're going to add 12 this way. So 60 plus 12 is 72, plus 12 is 84, plus 12 is 96. Now, that's where these are all going to start. Now, where do they end? If this one starts at 72, we're just going to count back 1, and that goes to 71. And then we're going to add 12 down again. So 71 plus 12 is 83, plus 12 is 95, plus 12 is 107. All right, and so now what we do is we take some time. 82, where would that one go? 82 would fall right here. Next, 73 would fall right here. I know you might go through and count them and try to find where they go, but I just have to tell you that taking the steps to go through these one by one is really, really helpful. I see people make a lot of mistakes when they try to count how many fall into each range. It's just a lot more. I know it may take a little bit longer, but take the time and just do these one by one. So 91 goes here, 84 here, 89, 82, 77, and finally 101. So I keep the tick marks off to the sides, and then I'm going to write the actual number here. So how many did we have in this range? There were 1 of them, there were 4 of them, There were 4 of them that fell between the 84 to 95, and then there were 4 of them that was between 96 and 107. So this is called a frequency distribution table. In class, we're going to do some more with this, and we're going to work on some different types of distribution tables, such as relative and cumulative. But for now, we're going to just tackle the regular one here. Now, what do you do with a frequency distribution table? You can use that to complete a histogram. A histogram is just a graphical representation where we're going to have the times on the bottom, and then we're going to have the frequencies over here. And so, okay, so let's get our time ranges down here. So we're going to have how many different ones? There's going to be 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to list the ranges. So this is 60 to 71, this is 72 to 83, and 84 to 95, and 96 to 107. Notice this looks like a bar chart, but it's not, because there aren't any gaps. This is a really important thing about histograms, is there aren't any gaps between the bars. And for the frequencies, we don't have a ton of frequencies here, so we're going to count them by 1. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And now what we're going to do is, we had 1 in this range, so we're just going to drop 1. The next range went to 4, so we're going to have 4 here, up to 4. And then another one that is 4. Again, you would probably want to use a ruler. I'm not doing a great job of drawing straight lines here, but this would be the histogram representation of that frequency distribution. You see we've got the frequency distribution up here, and then we've got the histogram, which is the graphical representation below.